Hi, thanks for joining us. We're going to do Air Signs Tarot now, and this is for February 2020. I'm going to actually go back to doing them by the individual signs, so there'll be a video for each sign, but I kind of need to catch up because February isn't too far away right now, so that'll be for the March ones. Meanwhile, right, I'm going to do 3 cards each, so there'll be 9 cards in this video, 3 cards each for Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. So these are the Gemini cards in front of us here. Let's turn one over and see where we go. Excuse my filthy hands, it's the fire lighting season, so I keep having to get my hands dirty all the time just to keep warm. But that's what you have to do in life, isn't it? You have to sort of get your hands dirty at times to make things work, to make things happen. And in this deck, which is Tarot in Wonderland, it's all about Alice and her journey really through childhood into adulthood. That's really what it's all about. And that's a good metaphor for the lives we lead in this world. The spiritual lives, certainly, because we can be all grown up and everything, but still find that we're getting nowhere. So in this card, the Queen of Pentacles, it's a very powerful card. Pentacles is actually earth sign energy, but in so many ways it's all the signs working together, all the influences I should say, all the elements. Earth, fire, air and water working together under the guidance of the divine, which is at the top here. So extremely powerful. And right at the centre of the pentacle, we're deeply protected. So I've got to say that, Gemini, really think about grounding and protecting yourself, because there's a journey going on here. This is actually a very positive start to the reading here. Who knows where we can go from here? The sky's the limit, I would say. And in the story and in the general journey through the Tarot in Wonderland deck, at this stage, Alice has been on many journeys and learned many things as she goes forward. And she finds herself at the sheep shopkeeper's shop. And that's what the Queen of Pentacles is. She's the sheep shopkeeper. Up here we've actually got a doll of Alice on the shelf, showing that Alice really does actually belong here. And so that's positive for a start. It looks like you're in the right place, Gemini. That's what I'm going to say. It looks like you're sort of just exactly where you need to be. And the universe is like that, actually. Or, you know, God, the angels, whichever way you want to see it. Somehow we're always in the right place. We are where we need to be at the moment. And I'm sure people want to be able to go forward and make a difference to things. But we are where we need to be at the moment in this card. The thing about what happens next is that Alice actually has to ask for it to happen. Excuse me a minute. Oh dear. Right. Alice actually has to ask for things to happen. There's no problem with her getting what she wants, but she has to ask for it. The suggestion here is that she has worked hard for it, Gemini. So it's a really positive situation and a great way to be setting off on your journey into February 2020. Much is changing in this year and certainly in the decade ahead. A great many things are changing. But at the moment, and it's going to be the case right through early February, that none of the planets are actually retrograde. So we're chugging forward at a very high rate of energy. At the moment, actually, because Uranus has just gone direct as I do this. That was about sort of 2 days before I'm doing this reading. And the next planet to go retrograde is actually Juno, which is far out in the universe, actually, a long way out. So it's a very subtle retrograde effect. And that's not actually coming in until the 8th of February, as far as I know. So we have actually got a really good start to the month, and this card puts you in a really strong position. But do get grounded, you know. It is an earth sign card with it being a pentacle, and there's a definite need for grounding and to see yourself as being protected at the centre of things here. But these are all the different energies of the universe working together, and we don't actually want to be protected from them, do we? Okay, so a real positive start for Gemini there. Let's turn over card number 2 and see where we're going. It says drink me there. Actually says it upside down because this is the top of the card and this is the bottom. So it's got it upside down, but it does say drink me there. And that's a suggestion of time. Anyway, that's the back of the card. Let's have a look at the front. And it's the 7 of Cups. Right, so moving forward doesn't look like a straightforward thing at all. The traditional meaning of this card is that nothing is exactly what it seems, and in fact nothing really seems to be anything much. We've got all these fancy symbols here showing different things, but it's very hard to know what any of them mean or what it means to be in this position. So there's a lot going on here, Gemini, a lot to think about, a lot to try and focus on, and it's not going to be that easy to actually focus. See, the candles are all over the place, so there's light being shed at this point, but it's very difficult for the human mind to know what the light is actually illuminating and actually to be able to see a way forward. What is really, really good about this card, actually, is that Alice has already worked this out, and she's facing away from these symbols. She looks happy, she looks fascinated, and she knows she's going ahead on the journey. But we've got a checkered floor here, and in this deck, and actually in any deck where it comes up, a checkered floor like that is a bit like a game of chess, and it shows that there's still a game to be played. The game is still on, if you will. So you may actually just be becoming aware of this game as you get towards mid-February. But at the same time, it really is quite a positive thing, because Alice has, as I say, worked out what not to worry about in terms of all these symbols. Okay, so there are a lot of influences coming in, Gemini, and they're not necessarily going to show you anything concrete, show you anything positive, or get you anywhere, because with these checkers here, it's all still to play for. It's a 7 though, it's a Cups card, so it's water sign energy. This is Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces, either in your chart or maybe some of those people, or one of those people in particular around you. Because it's a Cups sign, sorry, a Cups card, it is about longings and desires as well. So this is very practical, the Queen of Pentacles, very practical card, and the suggestion of money coming in around it. But with this one, with the 7 of Cups, it's longings, it's desires, it's really wondering where you want to be. And all the cups seem to have something strange and different in them. Some scary things. Not sure what that head is all about there. Got a flamingo here, which always means confusion in this deck. Lots of different symbols. So whatever you hope for, whatever you long for, it's difficult to keep that real, actually, because, you know, we are encouraged, and rightly so, to long for what we want, even if it seems impossible, even if it seems completely impractical. But I'm not even going to say do have a think about it, because Alice has just stopped thinking about it. She's facing forward, and that's the best way to face. But it is a 7 card, lovely magical number there, and it suggests that we are very strongly and very well on the journey, particularly coming after the Queen there. Okay, so that's the 7 of Cups in this reading for Gemini, February 2020. And turning over this one, it's number 3, it's the Empress. And this is actually, well, in terms of numerology, we're back to a number 3. It's not the very beginning of the journey, but it's quite early on in things here. So this is where we're going for the rest of the year, or at least it's our starting point for the rest of the year. The Empress is aware that there's a season for everything, you know. She is always reminding the Emperor that resources come seasonally. And even in this world where we can get what foods we want just about all year round because of air transport and things like that, we are actually always subject to seasons in terms of the way the energy comes in and works with us. So it looks very positive, actually. There's a lot of florid things here, you know, things coming into flower, things coming into fruit. We've got a white cat there and a lion thing as well. Let me just take a closer look at that. No, it's 2 cats, it's not a lion, sorry. It's just because I'm looking at it upside down at the moment, and it just looked like a lion to me. But yeah, 2 cats, 2 very different cats there. The white cat symbolising everything about whiteness, about being faced in the right direction, about going forward. And this cat is the ginger cat, who appears as the Hierophant in this deck. And with the Hierophant, you've got to think about that part of yourself which is telling you the truth, even when the rest of you doesn't actually want to believe it. So there's some confusion here, but that's no bad thing in February, because we do have the rest of the year ahead of us. Now then, the Empress, she's a bit all at sea without the Emperor. She's not the most practical lady, although she's very practical about understanding that everything has its season. Excuse me, that everything has its season. But Alice is here with her, and it looks to me as if she's brushing her hair. I can't actually see what she's doing, but Alice is helping. And Alice still has that very childlike energy. So there are simple things that we could easily forget here. See, the Empress has only got one shoe on. So she's going to need Alice to remind her to put the other shoe on. So this is, shows that we depend on other people, not just random strangers necessarily, although it can be, but our own relationships. We need to think, are we actually being supported by the partner we are with? Are we actually being helped by the situation we're in? It's all very much worth thinking about, because although she's got her crown on here, the Empress is just, she's just not grounded enough, So we're coming back to this in the Queen of Pentacles. It relates back very strongly to the thing that we need to be grounded in this Earth sign card here as we're going forward. But the Empress, she's positive. She is, generally speaking, a happy character, although she shows up in the Suit of Cups a lot because she's very much about longings and desires rather than about practical outcomes. But we've got the rest of the year to play with. We've got it all to play for, so it's no bad thing.